What is going on, boys and girls? It's me, Ben DPB, back with another Ben Meet. So this one is one that's a little bit different to what we tend to go for. We've got a brand new streamer who's come onto the scene. This guy's come into the scene the last 6 weeks, I want to say, and he's done pretty damn well already. It's FM Live _. How are you, bruv? You alright?
Very good, thank you, Ben. Very good, thank you indeed, yeah. 5.5 weeks, I think it is, mate.
5.5 weeks, there you go.
Yeah. Not like I'm counting.
Well, we're going to get straight into it. 5.5 weeks, you get over 200 followers, which in the space of 5 weeks is pretty damn good.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I didn't even know I was going up to 200. It was someone in the chat about a week or so ago. I think you popped in about a week or so ago as well, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, popped up and said, "Oh, you're only a couple off 200." I was like, "Am I?" And then, yeah, to be honest with you, it has just gone completely over my head. And this past 5 weeks has literally gone like a flash. I've loved every single second of it, and it's exciting me. Genuinely exciting me, yeah.
So you mentioned obviously you wasn't aware that you have 200 followers. Do you keep track of your figures, shall we say, your viewership, your viewers in stream?
Right at the start, so when I very first started, I use Streamlabs OBS, so I don't know if I think you have streamed yourself.
I do, yeah.
Apologies.
Once or twice.
Apologies that I'm still new to this.
That's fine, bro.
I had the little icons, so you can see how many people you've got in your stream and stuff. So at first I thought, oh, bloody hell, I'm doing well. Then I realised you have bots watching you. So I was like, oh, right, okay. They're not actual real life people. And then about 2 weeks ago, I got probably the best piece of advice I've ever been given so far, which was turn it off. Turn off the little icon to see how many people you've got in your stream. When I'm on stream now, I don't know how many people are in the chat at any one time. What I found that I was doing was every single time, maybe 3 or 4 people dipped in then dipped out, or 5, or if I was on 15, then it went down to 8 or 7. I was like, oh, bloody hell, what am I doing wrong? Am I not talking enough? Is the game boring? Is the save boring? Am I boring? And then I try and change drastically and stuff like that, but essentially what it be is people come in, it's rather the stream's rather for them, it is or it isn't, and then because I can't see how many numbers it is, I'm purely focused on the chat, talking to the chat, talking to people that are in there, and then if, necessarily, I could have 10, 15 people in there, but people might just want to sit there and watch, so then it's up to me to then just talk about the save, talk about the game. Don't really check the numbers at all anymore, and it's probably the best advice I've ever been given because I feel a lot more natural, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
It's been overwhelming.
I think that's great. I mean, that's the best way to do it. I think the mistake a lot of people make in the early days of YouTube and Twitch is they're obsessed with their numbers, their viewership figures on YouTube, their viewership on Twitch, and when they don't blow 1,000 subscribers in a month or 2 months, they sack it off. I've seen some really good YouTubers come along and they just go away because you never got to the Loki Doki side or the work the space side,
I mean, that's my aim, obviously.
Hey, that's all of our... Anyone who says they don't want to get up to the work the space of 100,000 subscribers is a lie. We all want to get there, but I think right now you do the right thing. You just focus on learning the craft, shall we say, learning how to interact with the chat. And one thing I will say is you're very good at interacting with the chat. That's why I was instantly drawn to your stream. I came into the stream because when I go into Twitch to look for streams, I always start from the lowest viewers and work my way down. And if I go in there and there's someone sitting there not talking, I'll duck out.
Yeah.
And one thing I was always told was, even if nobody's watching now, you should talk as if there are 50,000 people in your chat. So just talk about what you're doing, talk about how you're getting on, why you're doing this, why you're doing that. And when some guys just sitting there, or they've got the music really, really, really loud, and you can't hear anything that's going on.
Killing you.
But I came to your stream, and you had guys there, and you were interacting with them straight away. And I thought, oh, this guy's all right. So I said hello in the chat, and next thing you know, we were chatting, and I thought this guy's pretty good.
Oh, cheers, mate. Appreciate that.
And I was astounded when you said to me at the time, I've been doing this for like 5 weeks, 4 weeks. I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah, a lot of people have. That's been the feedback a lot of times. I think I talk shit. I just talk absolute rubbish. But that's been my job since the age of 18. I've been in sales. having to cold call people and talk absolute rubbish to get them on side to then sell them something. Transferable skills wise, I've just kind of put that onto a chat form.
And one thing I like that you did the other day was you got like your Christmas present out, whatever it was, of your
when it turned into question
time.
time.
It was a football version of question time. You got your cards out and you start interacting the chat, saying, right guys, what's the answer to this 30 knowledge question? Who scored the most Premier League goals, whatever it would be? Yeah. And the chat was buzzing. Everyone was getting involved. Everyone was enjoying it. And
I think there was some cheating going on there.
A little bit.
Definitely some cheating going on. There's some Googling happening there, I believe.
But you could see that people in the stream were enjoying it, and that's what you want. And once people said they will come back for that 100%. Now, so you may not want to do everything, because you probably get bored of it after a while.
Yeah. I think, it just turned into like questions or something like that. Football questions live. And then, it's just like a pub quiz every Friday or something like that.
But I would 100% carry on in some vein, whatever it may be, because it was really good. I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to next time. And I promise I won't cheat. Not saying I cheated before.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was good.
I think I will definitely carry that on, and I think the other part of it, which was guess that guy, GTG, I think that was pretty good. I think that'd be harder because obviously, people that don't know what it is, but basically I just do like a one player and then you see his career in badges and where he went from the start to the finish, or a snippet of his career.
Interaction is paramount when it comes to streaming. The difference between YouTube and Twitch, of course, is when you're doing Twitch, it's a one-way conversation. YouTube, you know what I mean? But on Twitch, you have to be able to engage with people. And some of the best Twitch streamers out there, your Big Herb the Nurge, your Curtis, your Loki Dokis, your Dupes, they're fantastic at engaging with their chat. They're really good at that sort of stuff.
You go on there, don't you? Because it is Football Manager, but you stay there for the chat and you stay there
100%,
just like you said.
If you just wanted to watch a video, you'd basically go to YouTube. The whole point of going to Twitch is you want to interact and have some form. There's nothing more disheartening for a viewer, and I've had it myself, is when you go there and you say hello to the streamer, or you say something, I don't know, and they just blank you. Maybe not necessarily on purpose, but essentially they don't reply back to you. And that's why I like going into smaller streams, because when you go into, no disrespect to a Benji or a Loki Doki, when you go there, they've got 200 people in there. Naturally, your topic of conversation can get lost in among the other 200 people chatting. So your partner's an absolute diamond. Okay, shall we tell the guys what happened on the stream regarding her collecting the cards for you?
So we've recently invested in Alexa, which is absolute the race, by the way. Can't recommend them enough. But on there, I don't know if people have them, but there's a little option where I can speak into my phone and then it'll replay it. So she was downstairs listening to music, that gets cut off, my voice comes on, and I'm like, "Hiya, can you do me a favour? Can you go pick the cards up?" And then she would walk back upstairs. She's actually jumped in the chat a couple of times and said, "Do you want a brew?"
Wow.
Yeah, I know, exactly. There's you, and there's been about 4 or 5 people saying you need to put a ring on that one.
I remember saying that. I was like, you need to marry that woman.
It's becoming a common thing.
Has it happened yet?
No, not yet.
You haven't asked her to marry you. You haven't given it to peer pressure.
Not yet. Yeah, not yet. She'll be listening to this podcast and she'll just look up and just be smiling like, well, even the FM community is... So cheers for that, Ben. Just even more pressure. Yeah, nice one.
I'm here to help, mate. I'm here to help.
Yeah, exactly. But she's brilliant. And I think, like yourself, you say you've got family and things like that. I think one thing that I didn't realise was obviously I was like, I'll stream every single night and I'll do everything. And then you're like, actually, no, you do have a life outside of it.
Unfortunately, we do.
Yeah, we do, unfortunately. Yeah, exactly. Another good piece of advice when I very first started was a new streamer needs to block out a schedule.
Yeah.
And get some time that they know that they can invest constantly. So it was likened to like a television show. So for argument's sake, if we went to go watch Match of the Day tonight and it wasn't on and something like Dancing on Ice was on, we'd be like, what the f***? Like, you kind of know that Match of the Day is Saturday, Sunday.
Of course.
10:30, 11 o'clock. So that was one of the very first things I did. I got a schedule and got that out there, and then people kind of know that I will be on around about this time. It doesn't have to be obviously to the second, but if people know you're usually on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night, then they kind of know to block out a little bit of time to watch it possibly.
That's always been my biggest failing on YouTube and Twitch, was that I was never able to have a schedule for one reason or another. And it was always something that I wanted to do. There's a reason why I know that every day at 5 o'clock, Monday to Friday, Benji's going to do a video at 5 o'clock. I know that Loki Doki is going to do a video at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Most people know that on a Sunday evening, about sort of 7 o'clock-ish, I'm going to do a Ben meet. You know what I mean? So I try and keep to a schedule, because it's like you said, if you don't know when your favourite show is going to be and what time of the day and what day it's going to be, how the f*** can you watch it?
I mean, I get quite a lot of advice. I'll give them a quick shout out from R1GG. I'm in that Discord group, so there's people like Mozza, Kegs in there, Inverted Winbacks, FM Bertie, and there's tons in there. I think it was about a week and a half ago. I just popped up one morning and just said something around about like the do's and don'ts, because I'm new to Twitch. I'm not new to Football Manager, but I'm brand new to Twitch. Like, I started streaming, and before that, my knowledge of Twitch was maybe for about a week or so, just watching it.
Oh wow!
So So in terms of like chat etiquette and do's and don'ts, and like people lurking at the start, people were like, "Oh, I'm gonna lurk, bro," and I was like, "Yeah, okay." I had no idea what that meant. And then I understood what it meant, and then I was like, right, okay. And then there's other stuff. I mean, Keg actually, he like put some effort into some of the answers that he was putting into me, and then he signed off with probably one of the most biggest things for like new streamers, which was, it's all right like getting advice from the big like lads out there, and like if we stream FM were to do videos, I know Mozza's doing videos on YouTube now for new streamers, but if you don't take it on board, then there's no point in doing it.
100%.
So it's brilliant getting all this advice, but if you don't take it on board and actually implement it, it's like going to a brothel and asking for a hug. Like, there's no point. Do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't know that. I'm a happily married man, just to put it out there.
Yeah, but
if you are listening, Gemma, I've never done that ever.
MSM. There's just no point in it at all, and there is so much. I mean, you probably looked at it like on YouTube and on Google. There's so many like things that can help you when you're setting up your stream and things like that. But if you don't take it on board, then there's no point.
So when you started streaming, what made you said you only watched Twitch for a week before you actually started. What got you into stream? What made you want to do? Was there somebody? Was there something? What brought it about?
I think so. The very first time I ever did anything, I wrote one article on a forum, which was on FM Scout in about 2014. I was travelling Australia at the time, and I had my laptop with me, and I was doing a QPR file, and I remember writing it, but obviously I was travelling, so I couldn't really commit to it too much. And I loved it, and then from then on, I just never did anything. And then one of my friends, Duncan, he was streaming a few times on Twitch, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this and that and this and that," and telling me about it. And then we'd do like a game like on Call of Duty or Rust or something like that, and he'd be streaming, and then I'd hear him talk to somebody else, or like who'd come in the chat, and then I was like, "All right, that's cool." So over Christmas, I'm very fortunate again. Shout out to my buddy girlfriend, but I got a gaming PC, so I'd gone from like having a really rubbish laptop for like the past 6 or 7 years to having this like brilliant gaming PC, 2 monitors and stuff like that. So I thought, I can invest a little bit of time trying to watch Twitch now. And then another one of my friends, Dan, me and him probably message every single day. I don't know if you have friends that you do it with, but just talking about our saves, just constantly.
I've not got any friends, to be fair.
You've not got any friends.
I've not got any friends, mate, so apologies.
That's alright, mate. You can start inboxing.
I'm just starting to DM. Don't you worry about that, son.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, we barrage each other with images and like with the saves and tactics and stuff like that. So I thought, maybe I can look at doing this for Twitch. I got myself a webcam, got set up, watched a load of YouTube videos, found Streamlabs OBS, and then just kind of thought, okay, we'll do it. And that was on January the 12th. So I think you can still see my first video. I went on there, and my sole goal was basically to chat. I had about 3 or 4 mates that came into the chat right at the start, because I told them I was doing it. About an hour and 20 minutes in, Doop raided me with 46 people on my very first ever stream.
Wow.
Honestly, go back and watch it. You see my face. I absolutely shit my pants.
So this here is that clip that we're talking about now. If you watch this on YouTube, honestly, stop what you're doing and watch the clip. If you are listening via a podcast, just listen to Ben's glorious voice as he's raided by Doop.
Doop is raiding with a party of 45. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome. Thank you very much, Doop. Bloody hell. Jesus. Doop as well, I don't know if you know, mate. This is like my first official stream. Doop raid. Now then, everybody, welcome. Welcome. Oh, welcome, everybody. Like, just like no voice. Like, I sat up. I started going into like my mode, and like all my friends were basically like, what the fuck's gone on here? I started just naturally just speaking about the save, giving a bit of an overview. It's my Everton file that I've still got going on at the minute. So I think I got around about 11 or 12 new followers off that. And then off the back of that, say like the second stream, it was maybe my friends again and maybe plus 1 or 2 more from that raid. And then slowly but surely, I mean, people talk about the grind, and it literally is a grind, because if you can get 1 more chatter every single stream, it makes it so much easier. So much easier. So I've gotten up to 200 now, but it's basically just been on, like, just literally engaging with the people in the chat. And some people come on and they've got a question. Quite a lot of people want to come on and show you their save. Just literally, that's kind of the way I've got up to where I am now, is basically by talking to people in the chat.
You mentioned, I believe it's Route 1 Gaming, isn't it, that have that?
Yes.
So you mentioned it. How have you found them, included the FM content creator community? Have they welcomed you? Have they had much advice?
2 weeks in, I didn't have Discord. And a lot of people were like, you need to get a Discord, blah, blah, blah. I was like, right, okay. So I came in and I joined every single, I think I did a tweet, I think I joined every single Discord there was, and stupidly had notifications on.
Oh, schoolboy.
Yeah, exactly. You can imagine, can't you? Like, I was like, Jesus wept. Like, this is not working. So, some people probably think I'm an absolute because I've joined, and then I left quite a lot, because it would, like, the notifications, I literally couldn't write back to anybody, and I couldn't read anything, so I just thought I'm just basically lurking here, or whatever. I didn't know whether or not it was worse to leave or worse to just sit there and never talk. So yeah, I kind of gravitated toward R1GG, Route 1, and because the very first people that I started watching once I'd started streaming was Mozza and Keg, because I think they were kind of on when I went on there, and when I went on to chat they were always talking back. Actually, I don't know if Keg will remember this, but I went on, and literally the first ever message I wrote, because I hit follow, notification came up, and Keg was like, FM Live? Fuck. And I was like, oh shit, like, is my name, like, have I stolen it off someone? And he was like, oh, bloody hell. Something like that. And he was like, do you remember FM, I think it was like FM Council, or something like that. He was referring to someone else that had kind of named themselves after, like, Football Manager. And he was like, oh, the chat kind of went on, and it went a little bit like, oh yeah, here to, I don't know, steal money from us or something like that. It was really weird. Yeah, honestly, like, oh yeah, he's here to kind of just like steal our money and steal all our followers and stuff like that. So I was like, anxiety massive, because this is like the first guy I've followed, and I'm like, oh, like they think my name's crap. And I just sat there like, right, okay, no worries. And then to be fair, since Keg's been absolutely brilliant with me, I mean, it's because my actual name's Ben, by the way.
Good to meet you, Ben.
It's a good job I didn't go with Ben, because half the community is probably named Ben, including yourself.
There's me. There's the worst foot manager ever. He's called Ben. There's Dr. Benji. There's now you.
Ben Sailorman.
Ben Sailorman.
There's absolutely tons.
There's a lot of us.
Yeah.
Well, I was annoyed because when I came in, I wanted to be a Benji, but obviously there was Dr. Benji. I was like, I can't be Benji if he's Benji already. So I tried Bernie, which was my other nickname. But you're right, it's hard trying to find a name that nobody else has.
Yes.
And when you pick one like yours that is infamous for the right or wrong reasons, then it can't be easy for you.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was just they were kind of like, here comes another probably streamer that's going to last like 2 minutes, and he thinks he knows everything as fly, which is obviously not the case. I'm absolutely at the bottom of knowing anything about Twitch and streaming in the community. That's another thing. Another thing as well is like, I've listened to some of your podcasts, and obviously I'm in the chats and things like that, and people will refer to like the Creators Cup, or they'll refer to another person that's obviously quite big. I have absolutely no idea what they're all talking about because I'm fresh into this community. I have no like, I know Benji. I think kind of organically I've seen Benji and Loki Doki because on my personal Twitter account I follow Football Manager, and they often interact quite a lot with them on there. So I've followed them kind of organically through that, but everybody else, no idea. So
that's madness. It's weird to think that there's people out there that don't know about the likes of Benji, Loki, and others. I thought, wow.
Everyone knew. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know whether or not maybe I should have just sat on the sidelines for 6 months.
I mean, I'm assuming you knew me though, didn't you? You knew who I was, rather than...
You was the reason I joined. So I thought, well, there's a Ben that's doing it. So, yeah, exactly. But there's so many conversations now. Like even in my chat, people will be like, "Oh yeah, do you remember that time in that serve?" And I think obviously Dr. Benji's doing his glory hunters and things like that, and I'm just like, I don't know, because I'm completely, and it's not ignorance. That's one thing I want to kind of put across. I'm not being ignorant, and I am actively trying to consume as much content as possible. So I mean, because it's so hard to fathom now. I mean, I'm gonna use Doop an example, and if he does ever listen to this, I need to like put a public apology out there. No, honestly, I do. I was at my dad's birthday, and I was absolutely like, I was wasted. And I came home and he was doing his 48-hour stream.
Oh yeah.
And I came in and I was like, I'll donate. And he was like, oh, brilliant. I was like, I'll donate 100 quid. How do you do it? And he put whatever in the stream. There's an exchange between us on Twitter in the inboxes, and that gives me the biggest amount of anxiety. I had to delete it because I was wrecked, not coherent. Obviously, Doop's coming to the end of his 48-hour stream, and basically what we were trying to discuss is, like, he was like, oh, I'll give you some merch. I was like, all right, yeah, cool. Like, them t-shirts you wear are cool. But I was trying to be, like, joking. But I was just over, like, the drunkenness. I don't think it came across quite well. And I'm reading it back. It sounds like I'm like, well, give me a shirt then. Oh, what? I'm not donating. It's like, and I read it back the next morning. I was just like, oh. So I went in I think he streamed a couple of days after. And I went in and I was just like, dude, mate, I'm very sorry. Like I was drunk, and he saw his face and he was like, oh, right, okay. He was like, that makes sense. He was like, oh no, like I'll get some merch sent out to you. And he was like, oh, inbox me on Twitter or something. And I dare. I will not go back in there and ask him for anything at all. Like, he did brilliant on the 48-hour stream. I'm very happy. Like, he hit his target then for the charity and stuff. Brilliant. But I was just like, no, it's all right. So yeah, a public apology to Doop there. That was a bit of a tangent. So
poor dude trying to get money for charity, and you go and harass the guy, give him abuse essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%.
Dude, I can only apologise.
The other thing as well is I was like, oh, he's one of the big guys. He's going to go tell everyone that.
He did. He told me.
Yeah. So, he'll go FM Live. He'll do his 5-star podcast. Do not watch FM Live.
He didn't say. He just said some because he said some irrelevant contacted me and said.
That might actually be my new name. Then, to be fair, irrelevant alive.
That's what my wife calls me. To be fair, my wife calls me that. You're irrelevant.
Really. Like one of the things I'm trying to fathom at the minute is, so like obviously the Doops and the other big streamers on Twitch, like they must have obviously started on the 3s, 4s, 5s, 10s views. Everyone
starts on that. Everyone starts on that. Even the biggest guys like Dr. Disrespect, He's on FM. I don't believe he's an FM YouTuber or FM streamer. But the guys that Dr. Disrespect, your ninjas, your shrouds, they all start off as 0 viewers. Like on YouTube, everyone starts off the same.
Shout out Ninja. Like he needs a shout out, doesn't he?
Dude, I would laugh if you cheers, boys, in the comments.
Yeah. Or just absolutely got like a hate campaign against Ben Meat's podcast. Hey, it's publicity though.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
You have got to start somewhere, and it's not going to be an overnight success. And when people say grind, it's a grind, you think, well, you just sat in front of a webcam. What grind could it be? But if you're talking, like you say, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, you're sat there constantly talking
to yourself,
constantly engaged. Exactly. It is mentally, it is a massive grind. And if you think that you're chatting to somebody and then it turns out they're not sat there, so then you're just kind of talking to yourself. Right.
It can also be quite demoralising as well. It can.
Yes.
I mean, it has been. I mean, I've found myself when I've done Twitch in the past, I sat down there for 3 hours, and I've had it before where nobody has come into my chat and spoke to me. I've been there for 3 hours essentially talking to myself. I don't. So people talk about the grind. It is stuff like that, but it's getting through that and carrying on.
Like yesterday, I don't know if you was there. Someone just went, "What do you think about flatness?" I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah. What do you think about things outside? You think everything's flat?" I was like, "Have I missed something here?" What he was trying to ask me is if I believed in flat earth.
Oh, right.
Well, that was it. That was like 30 minutes. He was just going off in the chat, and he was just like, "Well, what about this? Blah blah blah." And I was like, "Right, okay, this stream's taking the time for the lead. Let's rock with that." I think I saw. I mean, this is no disrespect to Dr. Benji because I am brand new, so please take it easy on me. But I've been in one of his streams, and he was giving relationship advice to somebody. And that was literally, so there was loads of people talking in the chat and responded and stuff like that, but he was just talking about that one key thing for maybe like 25 minutes. But people were just like you said, when I was starting doing the question things and the chat's buzzing, his chat was like insane. Like it was just like, like comment. And he's like, whoa. But yeah, I think that's the other element of it. I mean, we're lucky because we've got a game that we all love and we can all talk about, but we can kind of have it on in the background and still play it, if that makes sense.
That's exactly what I do. Most streams, I lurk. I very rarely go to see what talk. The only time I ever talk is if there's a conversation that particularly spikes my interest, but most streams, it would be FM or Apex Legends, I tend to lurk. That's what I do. Yeah. And I would say I watch a lot of Twitch. People don't know that, but I watch a lot of FM Twitch, but I just don't comment in the section, that's all.
Yeah, because like you say, people are playing it, and I that's something I struggled with, and still a little bit is, you might have quite a lot of people watching you, but not everyone wants to chat.
Exactly.
Like if they're if they it's quite hard on the phone if they're watching you at full screen mode, they've got to like double tap on the chat. And
I've been there. It's a pain in the arse doing that. It really is.
Exactly, yeah. And then like some people might have to stream up. They might be watching Soccer Saturday. They might be watching the football, and you're just on the side. Some people want you on in the background. It's like if you're watching TV, you're not really texting the TV or talking to the TV
of
course,
or
anything like that.
Of course.
And I'm having to understand that some people just want to sit and watch me talk, which is weird in my world. I'm like, well, why would I do that? Because it is like the save's going on. So I think the fallback that I have at the minute is if there's nobody talking in the chat, I will just talk about the save. And then potentially go off in a tangent somewhere, and just yeah. I mean, when people say they're lurking now, I'm like, yeah, no worries, that's fine. I mean, at the start I didn't know what it was, and then after halfway through, I was like, oh, does that mean they're leaving? But no, they just want to sit back and chill, which is absolutely fair enough.
I mean, have you encountered many trolls at all, or?
Yes, I had my first 2 trolls 2 weeks ago, and it was hilarious.
Do tell.
So. There was two guys that just came in and then just bang, like they were just chatting shit. And at first, because I think something was happening in the game, I think I was 2-0 down. I was trying to change the tactics, and so I wasn't concentrating on the chat as much. So I looked up and there was these 2 guys, but to me it looked like they were taking the piss out of each other. So I just went, bloody hell, you two are having a go at each other. Do you know each other outside of it? and one of them went, "We're talking to you, you four-eyed something like that." And I was like, "All right." He was like, "Bloody hell, can't you see?" I went, "Well, no, my prescription's run out, so I think I need to go back and change it." And then the other one turned around and went, "Oh, you took that well, just like you last did the other night." And I just went, "Well, at least someone's given her one. I'll just sit here on FM and play it." And literally, the same guy turned around and just went, "Yeah, fair play." And then they left. So I don't know whether or not they just came on trying to find a reaction, but that's my first encounter ever with a troll, just in general.
Now, what we've seen quite happen on recently, there's a lot of different stream teams dropping up. You've got your Root One, you've got your FM creators, you've got your FM Base, FM Scout, of course, Passion4FM, who are number one, of course. Some other team called We Stream FM, never heard of them before. But
they've never cropped.
We've got a lot of these stream teams. Yeah, would you ever join a stream team? Have you been approached by a stream team? You have to tell me who.
No. Funnily enough, I was approached day one by a stream team. I think it was someone that possibly came over in that Doop raid.
On your first day?
FM, by the way. Yeah. The ironic thing was, and I won't go into names, they were saying, "Oh yeah, we've been watching your stuff, we loved it," and I was kind of like, "Watching your stuff?" I've been streaming one day. I think that might be a copy and paste.
Did you say that at all?
No, I was just kind of like, "Oh right, yeah, thank you." Like, do you know what I mean? And then, so I've been approached 3 times now by 3 separate ones, and I don't know what I have to give. I don't have any advice to be able to give. I feel like I'd just be sucking the life out of everybody else, and I see obviously stream teams, and it's brilliant, if you're new and people raid and they raid back and things like that. But I just, right now, personally, I don't think I can give anything to a team. I would just be taking, if that makes sense. So if you look at the categories tab on Twitch, and there might be 1,000 people in total on this planet, the round planet, not the flat one, on this planet that are watching Football Manager, and then you look at FIFA, Fortnite, and there's tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands, and you're like, we are just like, compared to that, the community is so small, and I think that's where we need more content creators, because the more that we have and the more eyes that we can get, like there's a streamer called Liam H, and he's playing Sea of Thieves at the minute, and a few other people are, and they're trying to diversify out into like a different community, and then people from that community might come and watch Football Manager. So, and if we can, if we can steal some from FIFA, brilliant. If we can get some from Fortnite and things like that, if we can bring more people in at the front end, it's going to benefit everybody, because then they're like, "Oh, this Football Manager's quite good. I'll carry on watching it," or something like that. So I just think we need as much eyes on the community as a whole, rather than you sat there saying, "Oh, follow my stream," or "subscribe to me and I'll subscribe to you," type of thing, because you're never going to get to that kind of size, are you? Really?
The perfect community to aim for, in my opinion, right now would be the FIFA career mode community. They're so disinterested.
Is there one?
Exactly that. Exactly.
What?
They're so unhappy with the game right now. It sounds like the perfect people to go for, because of how unhappy they are with the game itself. So
I think when you hold it up against something like Football Manager as well, in terms of like, I don't know, the transfers, the contract renewals, the tactics, you're just like, ugh. Like, it's so painful to try and do in comparison, isn't it? And they haven't changed it after, since, like, is it FM? FIFA, I don't know, 2016? I think from earlier on, say, like on consoles and stuff like that, I was playing, so say like you go to school and everyone was kind of talking about FIFA and stuff like that. I was one of the kids that was playing like LMA Manager.
Good lads.
And Total Club Manager.
Or Premier Manager back in the day as well.
Yeah, exactly. And do you remember FIFA Manager?
I do remember FIFA Manager. My dad couldn't play Football Manager. He said it was too complicated, so he played FIFA Manager because it was so much easier.
What a game. Why did that stop? I thought that was okay. As in, at the time, like, it was, what was it, 07, 08? FIFA Manager 08,
It might have been around that time, yeah. I didn't play. I was a Championship Manager fan from a very early age, so I couldn't get into FIFA Manager, shall we say. I just couldn't get into it. So I was always a Championship Manager fan. Do you remember when Championship Manager and Foot Manager both came out at the same time and they sort of separated because they split? They were made by separate companies. And I remember buying the wrong game. I was like, this doesn't feel right. This feels really, really weird.
Yeah, exactly.
And I realised I bought the wrong game.
I think I got both purely because I didn't play anything else but those type of games at that time, and still now. I think I all that I play is Football Manager. I mean, in this past 5.5 weeks, yesterday was the first time that I actually touched a save offline.
Really?
Because I'm just putting so much time into the stuff that's going online at the minute. All right, and maybe like before the stream starts on that loading screen, I'm sat there maybe doing like staff contracts because I'm thinking, well, does anyone want to watch me like renew 40 staff contracts or something like that? So I'll maybe touch it like that. But yeah, I've started a Stuttgart file with my friend on a little network save, and it was weird going back to playing it offline and not talking all the way. Do you know what I mean? Like not talking all the way through it.
Network saves always go down well online, by the way, in terms of streaming. People like to watch the network save, so that's always something to think about in the future for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I'll text Loki Doki and see what he's doing next.
I'm sure he won't mind, to be fair. I'm glad that you said Loki, not me. No, I don't take any offence that whatsoever. You didn't think to ask me to do it for you.
I don't know if Loki has a family, actually. I was going to say you're busy anyways.
Loki's got about 4 dogs and 15 cats. He's busier than I am, the poor
Right. Fair enough. I'll choose someone else then.
So what I want to get into is my favourite part of the show. It's the 11 Spitfire questions. It's when we get to know whether you're an absolute diamond geezer or an absolute melt. So we're gonna.
So you might actually break my whole Twitch career in 6 weeks.
Essentially,
it might just be gone.
Essentially.
Okay.
So it could be we come to Monday tea time. There is no FM live. He's gone.
you type it in. This just
rip FM
right.
live.
Okay.
So I say the Spitfire questions. If you want to have a think about it and delve into it, by all means. But Coke or Pepsi?
Coke. 0 though. Not for the health.
It tastes nice
aspects of it. Just the taste.
I've got Coke Zero in front of me right now.
So have I. Look at that. Same name.
Same drink. Absolute beasts. So who do you support?
There you go. Hull City. Somebody has.
I don't know why I'm asking, but why?
Local lad. I'm on the supporters committee as well.
You're not.
So yeah. So I was actually on Wednesday night. I was with the owners. For some people don't like them at the minute, but So if you and maybe 13,500 people want a ticket, then let me know. We have empty spaces. So we have half a stadium to fill, so I will hook anybody with a ticket.
FIFA or Pro Evo?
FIFA, but purely based on pro clubs, and I'd say maybe like FIFA between 98 and probably 2014.
Favourite film?
Favourite film? Space Jam.
Space Jam? Are you taking the piss?
Space Jam, and then Rock and Roller.
Rock and Roller is a great shot. I love that film. That's a really good film.
It goes under the radar, doesn't it?
If you look at my Twitch channel, rest in peace, my Twitch channel, I've got that about me, and Rock and Roll is in there. It's one of my favourite films.
Oh, get in. I didn't check that, by the way.
That's cool.
That wasn't coordinated.
That's nice to know. You would check it my channel again, but that's fine.
Sorry, mate.
Bloody hell. So, favourite TV show?
Currently, Mindhunter, and then overall, probably Game of Thrones.
We've also got here, that's my internet bill, two wrong things, not looking at either.
I'm not paying that, I have big enough.
So, Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation.
Oh, that's lost your points there, I'm afraid. Attribute masking on or off?
I do the one where I have to scout them, so that's attribute masking on.
I missed that. I've got to scout the players to see their stats. I'm such a purist.
Sorry. I just think, I understand where people have it off. I mean, you play it however you want to play it, but I personally like to get a good scout in, and I found someone. But
no, I don't.
You can play it however you want. If you want to absolutely blast for a season, then you can you whack it on quick games and stuff like that, and asking off. But yeah, I tend to grind it out.
So who's your favourite content creator? One for YouTube and one for Twitch if you can.
I'm guessing this doesn't include you.
If you want to send me, you're more than welcome to, but I would give it to someone else if you can, yeah.
Obviously you, Ben.
Good shout.
Yep, so that's points. And then I've gravitated a lot towards Mozza.
Yep.
One for is very interacting, it's very engaging, and I love his overlays. I love how his stream looks. His voice is just, I could not fall asleep to it. That sounds like his voice. It's just so soothing, and he's so nice to everybody, and I've gravitated towards that. And another one, a lower viewer streamer is FM Bertie, not Kerty, Bertie with a B. Like I said this to him the other night in a stream. He takes so much care and consideration with every single sentence that's said in the chat. Like he will analyze every single word that's going on and then engage with it and talk back to you. The guy's like maybe 20 messages behind what's going on, do you know, because he's taking that much time, bless him. But he's so good, like at just engaging with that. Like his game kind of doesn't go along quickly, but I just think if he ever gets big, I don't know. I don't know what he'd do. It'd just be like constantly. It'd have to be a just chatting, I think, because we'd just be constantly trying to catch up. But yeah, that's two I've gravitated towards. YouTube wise, I haven't really delved into it yet.
Really?
I'll be completely honest with you. I'm looking for content creators to go into. I've got a YouTube channel. I've not done anything on it. I've got some ideas for it, and I want to get into more YouTube stuff. But at the moment, I'm trying to watch as much Twitch as possible because that's what I'm doing at the minute. If that makes sense.
Yeah, of course, it makes sense. So regen or new gen?
Regen.
Good lad.
Regen, but I mean, people say new gen, and I'll say new gen back to them just to say it. But yeah, it's regen.
That got you some points back there. You'll be happy to know.
There you go.
So
maybe I'll have a stream.
So you can choose Hull win the Champions League or England win the World Cup. What do you choose?
Now I remember you've asked this question to other people, and they support Liverpool and stuff like that. So it's a very Liverpool will win, but. Could you imagine the scenes if Hull City won the Champions League?
To be fair,
I don't
think they would care, would they? Let's be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
You just told your grounds half empty.
Yeah, well, there'd be me, and the four other fans would be going mental. But I think purely based on the feeling of everybody in 2018. With England, I just think that summer was one of the best summers we've had in ages, absolutely ages. So I'll have to go with England.
Good shout.
It's mental, honestly, Ben. It's been mental for me going on there. Like even you, like asking me to come on this. Like when I messaged you that, it was purely tongue in cheek, and I don't know if that came across or not.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and then you was like your cog started going. You was like, yeah, all right. And I was kind of like, what? It's been so surreal to say, like, before I clicked the go button on January the 12th, I just thought, it'll be me and my mates. And then now it's like you say, like the grind started, and I've got over 200 now, and I'll be looking to do like a longer save and stuff like that. But and maybe in a year's time we'll do a podcast again and see what the year's been like. From you could like use me as like.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's sooner than a year. In all honesty, I really wouldn't be surprised if it's sooner than a year. Mate, that's thoroughly enjoyed. It's great to get the perspective of a guy that's been literally in the community for 6-7 weeks. I mean, you've been streaming for 5.5 weeks, but in the community for a matter of not even 2 months. So it's insane. It really is. There's a lot of stuff that I wanted to ask you, but I'm going to wait till we bring you on in a couple of months when you're a big boy in the scene, and then we'll get into the finer details.
Yeah.
But
you might have to book me through my ears.
Is that going to be Doop? Does he get the finder's fee, does he?
Yeah, well, yeah, if he thinks I'm not a member, then yeah, maybe. But,
do you want to give yourself a shout out?
Yeah, well, yeah, it still feels weird. It still feels weird calling myself FM Live. But yeah, so if anyone's out there want to follow a new person, it is FM Live _ on Twitter and on Twitch. I'll be streaming. Well, this will be last night now, so they'll probably be out on Sunday. But my usual schedule is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I will be doing sporadic streams, Fridays, Saturdays. But yeah, and like I say, I'm always looking for new content to actually follow as well. So if you are another creator, then please let me know.
Boys and girls, I would highly recommend you give FM Live a follow, or Ben, whatever you want to call him. Give him a follow. I promise you, this guy is going to be a big boy in the community. If he doesn't bottle it in a couple of weeks, if he does stay the course, he's going to be a big boy in a couple of months. I can promise you that. You want to get in there now and say, "Oh, I found him first. Before people like me do before you. So anyway, without any further ado, I'm going to bid you adieu. It's been emotional. I'll see you later.
Cheers, Ben. Thank you.